आइए इस संदेश को याद कर इस G20 समिट का हम आरंभ करें.
Today at the very first day in G20 summit, it was a very good day for India. Reaching 100% consensus on the declaration, Prime Minister Modi also thanked for hard work of ministers and the Sherpa. He told that it was not possible without the hard work of the ministers and the Sherpa. Continuously they have put their effort to reach to this level. Later in the evening, there was another meeting where new corridor was announced. It was for India, Middle East, Europe Economic Partnership. On the issue of the induction of Africa Union, the spokesperson of South African President, Mr. Vincent, also expressed their view. He was very happy.
We are delighted that it has finally happened. We are grateful at the leadership that Prime Minister Modi and the Republic of India has demonstrated.
But still, on the question of Nigerian application for member, he had the different view. You see that Nigeria is also applying for membership. How do you see it?
What's important now is that the collective voice of the continent is going to be appropriately represented in such a premium or premier platform that is looking at international economic cooperation. That's what's important now. The issue of individual countries and their membership is an issue that member states can think about at a much later stage. For now, the focus is going to be on how do we then maintain a level of traction coming out of this summit going forward.
But on the issue of Africa Union induction in G20, there was different view. A senior journalist from Arab News, Mr. Faisal, he was here to express his view as a journalist, what he sees and what are the benefits it will be for the G20 members as well as for African countries. But how do you see this kind of new induction of African Union? Already the South Africa was there, and even they were taking that Nigeria is also going to apply for this membership. How do you see this change and this development?
Well, I think the more the merrier is what we want to believe, because you really can't leave anybody behind. And African voices for such a long time have been ignored or not given enough attention. And it's a huge area with a lot of potential and a lot of opportunities. And it's only fair for them to be part of this organization and any other organization they want to apply for. Because if we learned one thing from the pandemic is you really can't leave anybody behind. We all need to grow together, we all need to develop together, and we all need to cooperate.
He also expressed and highlighted the issue that what are the things happening under G20 and other groups dominated by the China or Russia. Don't you think that it's like this forum is going to be like a competitor to the BRICS or SCO, that what China controls mostly? So do you think that that is the thing that China is trying to have the distance from this, not to make it so much prominent?
Look, there's enough room for everybody, and at the end of the day, Doctor, numbers speak for themselves. The results are what going to matters. You can have any organization you want with any formation of abbreviation of letters that you want, but it's what you achieve with these organizations, be it BRICS, be it G20, be it the UN, be it the World Economic Forum, be it ASEAN, be it whatever, you name it. It's what you achieve in the results. Otherwise, it's just going to be a very fancy meeting with a very expensive bill.
But at the end, I wanted to have different opinion on the issue of economy and trade. Discussed in length with Dr. Ihsan from Saudi Arabia. He's a senior economist there in Arab who understands the economy and the politics altogether. On the issue of Africa Union as a new member in G20, Dr. Ihsan has his own opinion. So we are here at the G20 summit. It's very crucial and lots of things are happening, not only in terms of the political relationship, also the economic and the crisis the world is going through. So how to solve the trust deficit that the Prime Minister also told in the opening address. So how do you see that it is going to emerge as a historical step for not only for African country, also for the this global south, whole global south?
You see, nations do throughout history do compete, which is natural. You know, they compete for resources, they compete for investment, they compete for trade, and for various reasons. And I think these forums like, the G20, the BRICS, the COP for climate change are very important. And these are the tools where the nations can talk together and, to also reduce conflict and frictions amongst themselves. So I think the one manifestation of that is the invitation of Mr. Modi to the African Union. It makes sense. In the composition of the G20, you have the 19 countries plus the European Union, and now you'll have African Union. Africa, as all of us know, being present on the G20 summit throughout, either because of issues relevant to Africa. When you look at issues like, for example, climate change and Africa, see, Africa is a major contributor, but cannot contribute to the level or to the potential due to severe financial shortages.
We are seeing that how Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is evolving, in terms of modernization, adopting technology, and it's also pushing youth to be innovative and be entrepreneur kind of thing. So these are the things also, and aligning those geopolitics, the geopolitical scenario also. How do you see that? Is it balanceable, or it is very difficult to match those aspiration and also the situation across the globe?
I think aspiration is the name of the game. And in Saudi Arabia, the Crown Prince, through his strenuous efforts to realize the Kingdom Vision 2030, is a manifestation of that. The vision is very ambitious, but with very measurable goals. And the idea not only to diversify the Saudi economy, but also for Saudi Arabia to take its natural role regionally and globally. Because Saudi Arabia, throughout its history, it never lived for itself. Yes, it pays close attention to its interests, but also pays lots of interest to regional causes like the Arab, the Islamic, the developing nations, and always being part of that.
But in last 4 or 5 years, we have seen that dramatically change. It's surprising for everyone. Like now you have good relation with Iran. They have meeting, so many bilateral meetings happened. Even Qatar the relation is improving and all. So how this wonder happened? It's like, everybody is surprised that lots of things are changing. And even now normalization with Israel, that is another good thing, that to see that, how the globalization is happening and we are growing together.
I think what happened that in 2016, the vision of Saudi Arabia 2030 was announced by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince. And it wasn't only uttering words and giving sweeping remarks and general statements, but the vision has two things in its favor. One, that it is specific with goals. So there you have a better than 100 goals that need to be achieved by 2030, and these goals are measurable with specific KPIs that being reported upon quarterly. So every quarter there is a report on each of these KPIs. Plus, For realization, there are 13 vision realization program working as machines to push these goals toward fulfillment. The second, which is, in my view, the most important, which is the direct, very close supervision and management of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince. This is his number one priority. Lots of people look at the Vision 2030 as an economic undertaking. No, it is a socio-economic undertaking. And as you noted, that number of social issues achieved under His Royal Highness direct supervision and support. One of them is the empowerment of women. It's not easy for a conservative society to be convinced that we need to take full advantage of a resource, a very valuable resource that we have, which is the educated, capable Saudi women. So what happened is now that by the way, just to give one example regarding the goals of the vision, one of the goals of the vision was for the Saudi women participation in the job market to be 30% by 2030. That was fulfilled 9 years early.
So this was about New Arab. New Arab means like Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which is evolving and bringing all those folks into one group. MBS is trying hard to bring them in same fold where everybody can grow and move further. So this was the first day of G20 where several things happened. Declaration was adopted. New decisions will be taken tomorrow at the end of the meetings.